Barry,
Barry
You guys hear me?
Mccockiner. Yes,
yes,
sir.
we can hear you.
All right.
Everyone's been waiting for Barry. You
Just
guys
didn't want to
get
show
your
my ugly face.
wish. You don't have to show your face. It's all good.
I know. I wanted to make sure I didn't show my ugly face, even though I kind of did it.
You know
last
what?
week.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet you're handsome. You just don't want.
I mean, you're not bad. You're just
to know
a dude.
who you
Come
are.
on.
Yeah, I'm just.
I
Saying,
used to think the same thing before I.
Are we live right now, or is
something,
this?
Yeah,
we're live.
We
are
live.
live. So do not
okay.
get yourself canceled, Barry.
Okay. Just making sure. Yeah.
Welcome back to the show. Now I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts on Tom Brady retiring? Right off the bat, let's just get into it. Let's just dive into it. We'll talk about your YouTube channel in a little bit, but I got to get this out of you. What are your thoughts? And is it time to say your piece?
Well, honestly, if anybody who follows me knows, like a year ago, I basically bent the knee and said, "All right, whatever, Brady's the GOAT."
Mm-hmm.
And then
I remember
that was before the Rams playoff game last year. So then they lost that game. Then he retired the first time, and we went through this entire charade. And then he unretires, he comes back, and then we all know what happened this year. He was terrible. So I honestly, for me, when it comes to Brady retiring, I honestly, until it's week 1 and he's not in uniform, I won't be convinced that he's completely retired.
Wow, you really do not give him that much. Like, you don't think that this is it.
Well, the thing is that, like, he even just the other day, he said that he's not going to start as an announcer on Fox until 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, there's going to be a completely free entire year that he's leaving open. So it's kind of like, already starting with the smoke and mirrors, like, what's he going to do? So I think, but if he truly is retired for good, then I think it's great for the game, because there's so many, there's so much. I mean, the new era is here. There's so many great young quarterbacks, exciting quarterbacks, and Brady's really the the age of the immobile pure pocket.
Yeah, the Eli Manning, the Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that stuff's gone. So the fact that every quarterback mostly is either just, I mean, every quarterback has to either have just being a physical freak or be able to run, or I mean, I feel like ironically enough, the Patriots, like, Mac Jones is like the only guy, Brady's old team is the only guy that still is kind of like the old pure pocket passer who doesn't have any athleticism. But I think overall, I think Brady retiring is great for the game, because I just hate that motherfucker. So I'm glad he's gone. At least, again, knock on wood, I say that, but he's like, the guy's like Michael Myers. You can't say for good. You can never really kill the guy. So it's just one of those things where until it's week 1, it's kickoff on week 1, and he's not out there, then I will finally believe that he's retired.
Okay, so then we'll have to wait till week 1 to get your final thoughts on Tom Brady and his career. Yeah, I mean, you just look at his era. Like, there's different eras in the NBA. There's definitely different eras in football. Like, obviously it's season to season. It'll conflate and kind of run together. But yeah, he does mark the end of the pure pocket passer for sure. But he did it the best. You got to admit, though, out of that era, did he do it the best?
One of them, yeah.
He had the best results. I think that at the end of the day, it's kind of like, did you win or did you not? And that's really all anybody remembers. I think that, as much as I hate to say this, that motherfucker, he was clutch, and he's somebody who, rooting against him was always hell, because for 3 quarters he would be dog shit, and you just knew. Even this year we saw it. We saw it this year, where even still at like 45, where he was terrible for most of the year, but anytime his team was down, a couple possessions or 1 score late in the 4th quarter, all of a sudden he starts turning into the Terminator. And it was like that for 2 decades, where it's kind of like he wouldn't put up the great stats, like, Mahomes and Rodgers have better efficiency career stats. Peyton Manning too, and then you got a guy like Drew Brees has like very similar numbers to Brady, but it's just I think Brady just had I fucking hate complimenting him. But it's just he just was a guy. He had that inevitability factor to him that I don't think really anybody else has had. Like Mahomes had that too, that inevitability factor until, ironically enough, he got the shit kicked out of him a couple years ago in the Super Bowl
by Brady.
But by Brady's defense actually.
Yeah,
But I think Brady's career overall, did he do it the best? I think he was the most clutch. But at the same time, see, I say that, and then I'm like, what if the Seahawks just ran the ball? And what if the Falcons weren't complete morons? And what if D Ford wasn't offsides? And what if the Tuck rule? It's like you can, even now, it's like you can still go into all of this stuff where it's like he's a handful of plays away from having 2 or 3 rings instead of 7 rings. And it's kind of like it's just one of those things where you could literally you could go down the rabbit hole for hours and hours. But at the end of the day, you were never comfortable rooting against Brady, and that's probably the biggest compliment I can give him, because you just knew if he had the ball and his team was down in crunch time, there's
a sense of doom. It's like Jordan when he was down. Like you're just like, oh gosh.
Jordan in the 90s, when he actually played legitimate teams in the 80s, he got his shit pushed in.
Because they didn't have a team around him back then.
Yeah,
before Pippen.
I love how we seamlessly shifted from Tom Brady to Jordan slander. That was great.
Well, but the thing with the Jordan is like when you compare GOATs, right? Like you're gonna bring up examples of those guys. I don't know if Tom Brady is the GOAT. Like you said, he was always in a great situation.
I think Brady. I think in terms of, I think Brady is the consensus GOAT by pretty much everybody. I mean, it depends. He's certainly, I would say like 95% of people think that he's the best quarterback ever based on like what you hear and all the lists and stuff.
It's so hard to argue with his credentials. Like,
that's what I mean. But if you're talking about like who's the best football player overall, then you get into like, Jerry Rice, and you got Lawrence Taylor, and you got Reggie White, like you got, all these other positions. But because the quarterback is the most important position, and unfortunately, he's the most accomplished player at that position, at least from a team perspective. I feel like he is, that's why he gets compared to Jordan.
You know what though? I'll give you a reason to hate him though. He's probably out there having premarital sex, and that's that's bad. All right, let's pivot to your YouTube channel because we only got 4 more minutes. Like, you've grown like a bit. Like you used to do like these film breakdowns, and now you just went all in with just kind of the YouTuber style, the sports YouTuber style. What's this journey been like for you? And like, are you having fun? Are you enjoying it? Like, I mean, like what's the experience been like?
Well, I really started applying myself to my channel about, I don't know, year and a half ago. And for so long, I tried to basically outsource all of my subscribers. I'd be on Twitter. I'd be like, hey, go follow my YouTube channel. And the entire time, my dumb ass didn't realize that the quickest way to blow up as a YouTube channel is to just make good content consistently.
Exactly.
And so once I started, and it just so happened to be, this was during the preseason last year. It just so happened, it's the NFL, and this is my alley, and this is what a lot of my followers follow me for anyway. So I just started making more content, and then I started doing the weekly reviews, and I started doing lists and stuff, and then my channel just kept growing, and it was exciting. But then you also, at the same time, it's like you also kind of feel a little bit of pressure to actually keep making content.
It's
kind of like, I got to keep the momentum going now because I've got it, And then finally, I've started to recently, get some sponsors, which it kind of like one thing leads to another. But I'm very pleased. To be honest with you, like obviously making money's great. And if you had told me 10 years ago, when I was just a fat high school graduate with man boobs, that I'd be, making my career. I'd be basically just, I could make my entire career sitting on my ass on my couch at home on YouTube. I would have been like, you're out of your mind. But it's incredible. But to be honest, like, so making money is great, but I think you guys can agree with me when I say that, really the thing that keeps you going is when you see people say, man, your video really helped me. I really enjoyed your video. I was having a bad day.
That's the reason why we do it.
Oh
Yeah. And so it's like, it's just hearing that, it's like, you know what, I'm actually my dumb, stupid humor and all the dumb shit I do and all these, the marijuana overdoses and the premarital sex stuff.
Those are jokes?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
I mean,
But,
I was
getting
worried.
Yeah.
I've worried about him overdosing on the Mary Jane. It's not.
Yeah. I thought that I've always taken those seriously, especially Don Keating. I mean, that's a real guy, right?
Don Keating, yeah. Jenna Tolles is what
I know
was
her.
his wife.
I used to know her. Yeah.
But I think, like I said, I think we can all agree that it's the combination. Obviously making money is great, but having people who you don't even know, the reach and the impact that you can have as a creator is really, it's incredible. It really is. And it's something like, I got people from like, Singapore and Turkey who are like, hey, I love your shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't, it's just, I get DMs like that, occasionally. And it's really humbling. It really is. And so it's one of those things where you just want to keep making it, and you want to keep, I'm excited for what the future is. And I just hope that I can keep coming up with topics, that the one thing is I would like to try and expand, my topics is basically,
you got to experiment sometime.
Yeah, you have to. That just comes with time.
Yeah, just like in college. Yes, just like in college, like to experiment.
You got to experiment. Sometimes, you get drunk and things happen. All right, give us your Super Bowl prediction ahead of our next guest here. Who do you think? I mean, obviously you're biased.
Finally, you asked me. You finally asked me.
You got 1 minute. You got 1 minute to wrap this up. Tasha's on the line. So.
All right. Well, let me see here. I'm an Eagles fan. This is like a win-win Super Bowl for me because either my favorite team wins or Mahomes wins another ring to close the gap on that piece of shit Brady, ever so slightly. So I think, I don't know. I really honestly didn't put as much thought into this, but I would not be much of an Eagles fan if I didn't choose the Eagles. I mean, why not?
You'd be a shitty fan. Okay.
Yeah,
what's the final score going to be?
I think the Eagles are going to win it 34-31. I think Jalen Hurts is going to lead a game-winning field goal drive, and because Patrick Mahomes just simply did not will him or his defense to get a stop like Brady would have at the very end.
Kick the dick. Barry, thanks for coming on. Love you, buddy. It's been great talking to you, watching your journey, and we'll catch up again in the near future.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, guys.
All right,
take care, brother.
Buddy.
Take care.
All right.
By the way,
what you got?
One more thing I just wanted to say. Both you guys look very handsome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm more handsome than Tree.
Well, you're just saying that.
I just,
No, you got.
I'm not going to say.
I got the ball.
He looks
going on.
He looks good for 52, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Fuck you. All right. Trees removing him. Okay.